welcome everyone to our post-spring break class week. So we're getting into week 9. So a couple things I want to bring up before we get into this week. One, we're discussing Orange is the New Black. Orange is the New Black. I do want to let you know that there are adult themes. There is sex and definitely some things that pay attention to the ratings and that sort of thing, but do want you to start binge watching Orange is the New Black if you have never watched it before. But a couple things I want to bring up in terms of assignments, upcoming assignments, past assignments, that sort of thing. So I'm all caught up in grading, and most of you did pretty good on your research paper number 1, the historical review of Netflix. There were a few things that some of you need to improve on. One of the big things is that, yes, research papers mean multiple sources, and you have to cite them within your paper. I know, crazy. A research paper. So you do need to make sure that for your remaining papers that you do the same. Most of you did fine. You got a B, are in the A-B range. For those of you that scored lower, you do have the opportunity to do a revise and resubmit. And so that assignment has been made available. Now, this is for people that, for the most part, if you got 13 points or less, basically that's like a 65%. But yeah, if you get a 13 points or less, you're encouraged and have the opportunity to do a revise and resubmit. Basically, this is going to be, the resubmission is due April 3rd, but a couple things, if you read the instructions, these are some of the things that encourage you to do. Take your paper and my feedback to the GSU Writing Center and work with them with a writing coach. Basically, this is not something required if you earned 14 points or more, but it is suggestion. You want to make the corrections, especially the ones that I indicated, and basically the idea is that this should make your grade higher. So this is this is some work. So these are some things for your choosing. So revise and resubmit for those that got 13 points or lower, or also those that are just like, hey, I didn't really want to see, I went a little bit higher. You might want to think about that. Also, you have your next research paper, and it is your research reflective paper number 2, binge watching Netflix. So you want to make sure that you download the actual sheet that it's called Week 11 Research. And let's see, I might have to update a couple things before this all gets going. But for the most part, again, you're doing a 5 to 7 page research paper based on your binge watching experience on one Netflix original series. Basically, it should not be House of Cards. So you want to make sure that you have an introduction with the thesis statement, provide a short overview of your chosen show, talk about the genre, the country, the dates, the storyline, what episodes did you binge and why, include dates, and perhaps a short piece on the show's popularity. You may need to provide enough detail that I could understand your discussion of the following. And here is the following. How does binge watching change the viewing experience in terms of narrative engagement? Referencing your show for an example is evidence. How do modes of TV production, distribution, and consumption have changed by on-demand culture? So these are some of the questions you're going to answer. And basically referencing your show for examples and evidence. And then you're going to have your conclusion. To effectively address these points, you'll want to carefully read Casey J. McCormick's Forward is the Battle Cry. Also, readings from week 1 could be useful. The content must be comprehensive and accurate. Paper develops a central theme. Paper links your topic to the assigned readings and clearly follows the development of Netflix. Major points are stated clearly and supported by specific details, examples, or analysis. The introduction provides significant background on the topic. And, oh my gosh, today. And the conclusion is logical and follows from the body of the paper and reviews the major points. Readability and style. You want to make sure you have logical transitions. The tone is appropriate. Sentences are complete, clear, and concise. Sentences are well constructed, and they have a clear mode of thought. Again, 5 to 7 pages using MLA. Citations of at least 7 sources drawn from assigned readings must include the Netflix effect within the body of the paper and follow MLA guidelines. The paper is laid out with effective use of headings, font styles, and white space. Rules of grammar and usage and punctuation are followed, and the spelling is correct. So, and also when we say sources, so you've got the show that you're binging, you have your textbook readings, you have also some of the videos that we have and additional readings that we have, plus, as stated, the McCormick essay that is listed there. The Forward is the Battle Cry. So these are things that you want to include in your next paper. And the due date for this is week 11, and it is Sunday, April 10th. So I do have that correct in the download of the actual workflow. So these are things that you want to start working on. The other thing is that I have finished grading. As I said, I'm up to date. There's some people that have really your discussion questions. Some of you are doing really good with them, but you're forgetting to go on your classmates' posts and answer the questions that they ask. You need to have at least 3 of them. And then I've got a few of you who have done the actual part where you're engaging with your classmates, but you haven't made your own post. So again, the interaction on others people's posts is part of the weekly DQs. And remember, you've got 2 DQs, and you are responding to 3 of your classmates' questions, and that's for each DQ. So that means at least 6 total for the week. So you got 2 posts that you answered the initial question, the initial questions, and then for each question, then you go on your classmates. What did they ask? And respond. And then don't forget to incorporate the coursework. This is a way to note that you have engaged in the coursework. So these are some key things that I want to remind you. So again, Research paper number 1, done, unless you haven't done it yet, graded. If you've gotten 13 points or lower on it, you're encouraged to do a revise and resubmit. This is not, again, not for everyone. Just a few of you have this opportunity. The research and reflective paper number 2, the binge watching of Netflix. Please make sure that you read the instructions and start working on that. This is going to be here sooner than maybe you realize. We also, if you want to start looking at the research paper number 3, the Netflix originals as a model, you can start looking at that, but that is something that's going to be due our last week of class. So our research papers, our essays, are not a mystery. They are already posted for you to start looking at and maybe start working on. I do want to note, all right, so our weekly lessons for this week, which is week 9, is we're going to be watching Orange is the New Black. Your readings are from the Netflix effect on Orange is the New Black. And then there's also an article by Robert McChesney on the political economy of media. So want you to make sure that you check that out for this week. Let's see. So yeah, you'll be doing a lot of watching. We are, the one thing I want to make a point of is that week 13 is going to be changed up. Originally it was supposed to be Daredevil, but now Marvel is all of the Netflix original Marvel content is now as part of Disney Plus. So we'll be I'll be revamping week 13. So I'll try to figure something out. But the key thing I want you to work on is I want you to start thinking about your week 11 paper. I want you to binge watch Orange is the New Black, but again, note that there is adult material, and so I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. And yeah, so that's where we're at. And then week 10, yeah, we are going to talk more about video on demand, but our main binge for week 10 is going to be Crazy Head, but you don't have to worry about that. Worry about Orange is the New Black, and also, if there's anything that you're missing, this is also a good time to start working on that. I will be posting midterm grades very, very soon. So if your midterm grade is not what you, I'm actually going to be posting that today. So if your midterm grades are not what you anticipated, you still have time to change things up and make improvements. So that's where we're at right now. So I hope everyone had a good spring break. I hope everyone is ready for week 9 and ready for Orange is the New Black and excited about the next major assignment, which is the research reflective paper 2, binge watching Netflix. All right. Email if you have any issues. Of course, I have my office hours, so check that out. But have a good week, everyone.